Good morning, everyone. I'm Kaifa, Louis, little big sister. And Trina would have been here, but unfortunately, circumstances beyond her control. Now, Louis wouldn't really want me and Trina to do this, because in the cousin group, Louis fast with everybody, but it's when Trina start talk and call Kifa, Louis take for himself. But we are here to celebrate Louis' life. Louis was born on September 6, 1974 at the Kingston Jubilee Hospital to Father Lascelles Walcott and Mother Alfreda Walcott, the fourth of 6 for his parents. Mommy shared the story. After having Lindell, Fitzroy, Marvin, 3 boys, she never expect another boy. So much so that when Louis was born, he didn't get a middle name. Wow. She ran out of names. And me and Sunny didn't get any either. She gave up. But that didn't stop him from getting other names like Pongo, Mr. Portland, Louis Lowlife, Drillers, Loretta, and for those who live in Bull Bay, it's Loretta from Lane 1, Bobo, and most recently, 7-star General. And when we see the 7-star General, people there, what them there? All right. You hear that? Okay. But let me go back to Portland, Mr. Portland. Louis and one of our neighbors' daughter, Kida, set out from home one morning simply intended to go to Harborview, which was just like 5 minutes or 8 minutes away. As they walked, they spotted an empty Quezon bus. Excited by the chance to ride without a usual crowd, they quickly jumped on the bus. What they didn't realize was that the bus had a much longer journey ahead. Instead of turning at the terminal at 11 miles, the bus continued on passing through 14 miles, Yalas, Moran Bay, and headed straight to Portland. Louis and Kida happily enjoyed the quiet ride, unaware that the scenery looked nothing like their usual route to school. It wasn't until much later that the conductor noticed the 2 children and realized they were on the wrong bus. You can imagine him realized when they reached Portland. He quickly arranged for them to be placed on another caisson that was heading back to Kingston. By the time they reached Bull Bay, the school day had already ended. It was time for students to be heading home. When the neighbors heard of their unexpected adventure, they couldn't help but laugh. And from that day, Louis was nicknamed Mr. Portland and Kida became Miss Portland. Is Miss Portland in the house? Please stand. Where is Miss Portland? Stand here on the back. All right. At the age of 3, Louis attended Happy Venture Basic School. He later moved to Harborview Primary School and subsequently gained placement through the Common Entrance Examination at Tivoli Gardens Comprehensive High School. And we hear the Tivoli people, they're in the house. Where he pursued a course in auto mechanics. By the time he reached 16 years of age, Louis migrated to the United States of America, where he spent the rest of his life. Mr. Woodhouse and Mr. Thompson, his two teachers, they have, in fact, Mr. Thompson's funeral is today. Two teachers would say, Louis, boy, go to your class. Louis would respond, ease yourself, sir, me soon go foreign. Louis later joined his Aunt Dell and cousins in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where he began building his life and his career. He started his working journey at Taco Bell, demonstrating early on his willingness to work hard and make the most of every opportunity. Louis could have worked hard. With determination and an entrepreneurial spirit, Louis went on to start his own car wash business. His drive and commitment eventually led him to Kenworth, where he faithfully served for an impressive 27 years until passing. Wow. During his time at Kenworth, Louis steadily grew through the ranks. He began as a driver, later became a warehouse operator, transitioned into the service department, and ultimately worked as a sales representative. His journey there reflected his dedication, versatility, and strong work ethics. Louis created his own family tree, having 8 beautiful gems. Why? We love when nieces and nephews. Arlene, Jordan, Shania, Naima, Zachary, Tristan, Cade, and Kaylee. He first got married to Arlene, then Venice, and finally his rest of his life with his gem Crystal. Louis would have make you laugh. Louis was this kind of person who made life feel lighter. His spirit drew people in effortlessly, and before long, even strangers became his friends. He had a natural ability to connect with people and make them laugh no matter what the situation. Whether through a joke, a story, or just being himself, he had a way of bringing smiles on your faces and comfort to your hearts. His laughter was contagious and his presence was magnetic. Louis would just walk into a room and just light it up. And just by saying or doing something would have everybody laughing, and I mean a real good laugh. His siblings, teachers, cousins, in-laws, and friends saw him as a vibes master. No matter how upset or sad you may feel, once Louis opens his mouth or do something, you can't help but laughing. Louis will make you all laugh for yourself. I remember Daddy stood one day by the room door and religiously, oh Lord, my brothers, Daddy will call them, come here. You comb your hair from morning, you brush your teeth from morning, you comb it one by one. And if it never happen, then sure forget a slap. Run back into the room with tears. Louis would have come in the room. You comb your hair from morning, you brush your teeth from, and just everybody just started popping up. I remember I went to Tivoli banquet in New York, and I went with my bigger brother because he went to Tivoli as well. And I wore a black dress with a little silver sleeve. So 2 years after that, the banquet was held in Florida. And Louis now, I went with Louis. But I wore the same dress. So I said to Louis, then Louis, I never even realized that the same dress me did wear 2 years ago. go me aware, but no, you know. Hear him, sis. No worry yourself. When you walk in the hall in New York, oh, you did walk. Somebody say, what you mean? He say, you walk in normal? He say, yeah. He say, all right. He say, this time, just walk and dip. Walk and dip. And you show me how to walk and dip. He said, they never know. Even while lying in the hospital bed, in pain, Louis was still making us laughing, even the visitors. I remember when he was transitioning from the hospital, first, if the doctors come and look at his feet, he would say, I. And him look across on Jordan. Jordan, you're not doing your work, you know, Jordan. Why you let them come in here to touch me? So Jordan said, Pops. Louis said, don't call me no Pops right now. Pops, what am I to call you? Call me Louis. And Louis, me want you to call me now. Okay, Pops. You me say no call me no Pops. When he was transitioning to the rehab, there were 2 Jamaicans that came to take him. And he said to them, who is this? And the gentleman and the lady said their names. And he said to the gentleman, who you again? The gentleman said, Paul. Paul, my name Paul, sir. Sir Louis, my name Paul. Louis said, you don't look or sound like a Paul. You sound like a Calvin. And for the whole journey, Calvin, take time with me, Calvin. Calvin, slow down, Calvin. Calvin, my body delicate, Calvin. Behave yourself, Calvin. I said, Calvin had a good laugh. So in that time, Louis, he was easy to love, even in moments when he may have upset you. It was never long. His humor and the genuine heart would soften any hardened feeling. You could not hold on to anger with him because his heart was always in the right place. Andrew Davis would say, sis, I'm a brother that when I have no bad mind in I have no hate. And everybody who knows that is true. He would talk to all kinds of people. You were not too local for Louis to have a reason with you. And as a result, everywhere you go, Louis knew someone or someone knew Louis. For some, he became more than just a brother, more than just a friend, and rather a brother. He was a brother to Andrew Davis, Marco, Reese, Gary, Raymond, and Junior, which is otherwise known as Pussy. Louis was very helpful individual. Growing up as a child, you could always depend on Louis to do things. And Daddy would always call Louis name, but this time a Pongo. Pongo, come get this for me. Pongo, come do this for me. Pongo, come go down to Mrs. Jones' shop, go collect the grocery for me. Louis would just move immediately without a frown. Growing up, Pongo was the only one that could ride Daddy's bicycle because Pongo did everything. He was dependable from early, always ready to step in, always willing to help. That same spirit followed him into adulthood. Even in Florida, Louis became Mommy's and Daddy's hands and feet. Whatever needed to be done, he was the one they could really rely on. Wow. He carried that responsibility naturally, never seeing it as a burden. Even Wally and Lindell, you look and you ask them something, and they will say, "Hola, me I forgot to ask Louis." For Marvin, he would team up with Marvin, and when we gathered as a sibling, him and Marvin will come together to make us laugh. One another comedian. Sonny was his baby. He made sure he played his part in taking care of Sunny while growing up, and made it his point of duty to visit her when he got the chance to do so. Lindell, Louis, and myself, we went to the same high school. Louis told his classmate one day, "When you see my sister, I don't want none of you to talk to her. I don't want to even look on her." That was his way to protect me. Friends, neighbors, and customers all shared the same sentiments. You could call on Louis at any time, and if you needed him, his response was always simple and reassuring. "All right, now say another word," or "Okay, I'll come and get you." And true to his word, he would be there. He had a way with his customers at work, so much so that even when they didn't want to purchase anything, a few of them will still come to the lobby and sit down just to talk with Louis. But by the end of the day, they have to buy something. Louis loved his food. Louis had a love for food, and especially Jamaican food. Whenever he got the chance to visit Jamaica, Uncle Sam and Uncle Bingy made sure he got what he wanted. Sometimes he would also call me and say, "Sis, may I come?" So remember, forget the stew peas ready and the June plum juice. Louis also had his favorite restaurants, places where he didn't even have to say much because they already knew exactly what he liked and how he wanted his food to be prepared. You know, when we were growing up, Daddy would cook big pot of soup on Saturdays. And Daddy would say to all of us, "Anybody who wants an extra dumpling, I'm going to dance." And we're in at the passage, you know, man. And Daddy have to watch you dance because everybody going to dance to get the extra dumpling. And man, when Louis go up on the floor, you have to get that dumpling there, you know. Have to get that dumpling there. And Louis would have dance and dance. Daddy would have want to give me the dumpling because at the time I was the only girl, and Daddy would have said, "Oh, Kiefer never do no breakdown on the floor." But Louis flick and he do everything. So he can get the dumpling. And even though he get the dumpling in the pan, Daddy and me get the dumpling, like he want another dumpling. But Louis ensured that he got that dumpling. Oh Lord. At home in Florida, his love for food and good cooking never changed. He would often call out to Mommy, asking Mommy what is she preparing for dinner. She would answer, "May I cook, you want some?" And without missing a beat, Louis would respond, "You know, don't cook yet." Always ready, always eager, and always bringing a little laughter with it. Sometimes we would call Mommy near and far and say, "Mommy, what you eat for dinner today?" She would tell us and she would say, "Louis, get him dinner." Wednesday sometime would come and say, "My youth, me say you get your food." Louis would just go over to Mommy and say, Mommy, so you cook my food and give me? Now but I tell them other one, call them too bad man. When it comes on to soursop juice, him tell Mommy say, "Auntie Diana the boss pan that." He would say to Mommy, "Ask Auntie Diana how to make the soursop juice for me and make it the same way like that." Is Auntie Diana here? Where we are Auntie Diana because we want to know how you make the soursop juice. Alright, she's here. At his workplace, Louis made his co-workers call Crystal Miss Sandwich. Crystal would prepare the most tasteful sandwiches for Louis, and he would open his lunch kit and his co-workers would enjoy. Here say even the supervisor liked the sandwich. When the sandwich didn't come, Louis just said, "Oh no, but look, Miss Sandwich never make no sandwich food today." When he was in the hospital, Mommy would prepare, his cornmeal porridge. And Wally and Marcy would prepare his natural juices. I was in the hospital one day feeding him the porridge. And I gave him the first taste and he said, it's nice. So because I wanted him to finish the porridge, I said to him, yes, Papa, eat up, it's nice. It's nice, man, eat it up. I just hear him pause and say, oh, you know, say me porridge nice. Yeah, eat out me porridge. So me say, no, me not eat out your porridge, just eat up my nice. Hear him no, da-da-dee, da-da-da. Don't eat out me porridge when my mother make for me. It was all good and fun. His way of joking and keeping everyone laughing, those little moments showed his personality so clearly, playful, lively, and always bringing humor into simplest of conversation, even around something as ordinary as food. Louis found a way to turn everything into laughter. Louis loved bikes and cars. He had a deep love for nice cars and fast motorcycles. He had the love for motorcycles because Daddy took him and Marvin on their bikes when they were going to basics, on his bike when they were going to basic school. So anything with speed, power, and style caught his attention from a tender age. It wasn't just about getting from one place to another. It was about the experience, the sound, the engine, the smooth ride, and the pride that came with it. Cleaning and caring for his car was not a chore for him. It was something he genuinely enjoyed. You would find him taking his time, making sure every detail was just right, wiping, polishing, and stepping back to admire the shine. To him, his car was more than just a vehicle. It reflected who he was, neat, proud, and attentive to details. His co-worker said if you follow Louis, he would clean everything, including his car. His office, he would clean at the company, and also the restroom. Once he goes into the restroom, even though it wasn't his job, he would clean it. And he would say, you just have to get it done. Additionally, Louis was always well attired. His shirt always neatly tucked in, even if it was a short. His clothes clean and neatly pressed, everything just right. Growing up as siblings, Mommy and Daddy ensured that we learned to keep neat and tidy, and we couldn't come home from school looking dirty. Louis' schoolmates always admire how he would keep clean and neat while wearing white shirt, light color khaki, and light color sneakers. Little did they know that if he came home dirty, he would get in serious problems with Daddy. One day, Louis' uniform got dirty, and Marco recognized it and said, "My youth, how comes you dirty, sir? The first me ever see you dirty, sir." Louis responds, boy, I don't know how me I go home, because I don't know when me I go tell Daddy say. Following that day, Louis did something that none of us knew. Every day, Louis carry a different set of khaki clothes in his bag. So when he get dirty, he go in Mr. Woodhouse office, press the clothes and change. Problem solved. Wow. Louis is home clean and tidy every day. As he got older, he continued to be very neat, well groomed, clean shaved, always put together, always looking sharp and dapper. Red was his favorite color, and it complemented his complexion well. Bold and confident and full of life, just like him. Whether he was stepping out for a simple errand or heading somewhere special, him always looked good. Although he wore expensive brands, he wasn't going to pay for that. He would find all the bargains and find a way to get a special discount. Football was everything to Louis. Him eat, sleep, drink football. Louis was a part of the high school Manning Cup team as a goalkeeper. In Florida, he was one of the foundation member and captain for the Rockers Football Club, of which he was a part of for 20 years. In recent times, Louis, Ali, Nigel, Luke, Sleepy, Huggy Paul, Alex, and Aki hosted the second community football competition in Jamaica that entitled Bring Back the Peace in the East, back home in Jamaica. The program also provides back-to-school materials for all the early childhood, primary, and secondary students in our community. Louis willingly served on this team. If you want to see Louis get excited, jump up, scream, without and not have no voice after that, Liverpool have to win the British League. And Argentina have to win World Cup. Football was his special sport, followed by Louis. Louis loved to sleep. Him get that from mommy. And once him say him a go sleep, him a go sleep. You could have called him till thine kingdom come. Nah, wake up. Him a go sleep. And once him fall asleep, that's it. Louis loved to sleep so much that I think it was Teeny and a few of them was going to a party. And they said, all right, Louis, you go and prepare the clothes and we're going to get ready and so. By the time they came out, Louis was fast asleep. I said, Louis, you not come in? Me asleep, me nah bother go. Couldn't get him out. One day, he stopped on the highway because the train was passing. And right there, guess what he did? Fall asleep. The police had to come and wake him up. Louis enjoyed music, parties, and dance. Louis enjoyed music, him love and he loved that. You never see the video when him a dance? Although Marcus said him not think he can dance. As such, the special sessions that he would host and promote with his brothers, Wally and Lindell and Andrew Davis, they would have different sessions and dance that they would host back in Jamaica. Louis was a sweet boy, but he did give little trouble. Somebody said no. He would climb on the refrigerator with a sheet like a cape and jump off pretending to be Superman. Louis and Junior used to hide and take out Dada Moses' flour to go run boat. Of course, Dada Moses worked at flour mills. He called all his brothers' wife, them baby mother, and Eartha gladly accepted it. He locked Marvin in the foul cube because Marvin said, say fair. And he said, Beck say you say fair. Marvin go say fair. So him get locked up. He would find ways to trouble Conrad and Shireen or other siblings, and they would just laugh. He wore a white sheet late one night and hid in the dark to frighten Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam merely have heart failure. He would provoke Shara and Rafiq in the cousins' when they went to a party one night because Auntie Diane called Candice to say, remember to carry up the coconut aisle. He said to Candice, you say, if you give no trouble tonight, I'm going to go up on the mic and say, Candice, remember your mother say, remember the coconut aisle. Candice behaved well. He got $100 from Reese by drinking a lot of water to lose weight, and that wasn't a part of the plan. He hugged all the females on the job, though the rules say no physical contact. Couldn't stop Louis. He washed his cars on the work grounds even when they were instructed the day before not to. He took up one of his boss's car, boss driving the new car, and Louis just go in and take up the key and say, "May I go up on the road?" His boss was speechless. Louis created trouble and loved to be in company of women. Love a woman, you see? Boy, I tell you, even when he was at school and he was not supposed to change for football, Louis just go stand up on the sideline and he would just walk and give them like a bandy leg look. You know them days there, if you not have goal leg football, you know, you're not saying nothing. No? So Louis just stand on the sideline, you know, and just walk because he just want the girls to see him. Sometimes Marcus say, "Louis, where you there?" Him their netball training. What Louis are doing? Just love the girls around him. That is Louis for you. Reese would account anytime the ladies come in for customer service. Reese would say, "Yes, I'm going in." But by the time he hear Louis voice, he know he have to step back. Because Louis just want to say one something and that's it. Beat him all the time. He only did well, Reese, only when Louis was not at work. Louis loved his family. Arlena recalled him praying daily for his family members, telling God how much he loves them and that he wants God to keep all his family members safe. And she said he would call children and his brothers and cousins by names. Louis also knew that his family and friends loved him dearly. The visits by family, friends, co-workers, the prayer from the church families and pastors, the calls, the checking in, showed that Louis was truly loved. Let me pause to say, before Louis was diagnosed with cancer, Arlena was there. Arlena was at his side. Arlena never left him. Day and night she was there. She would go to work, leave work late in the evenings, visit the hospital for her dad, and then she'll go back home in the mornings, go to work, and routinely she was there. So much so that even when other person come to visit, you would hear him, "Lena, you there?" Because she did it, and she did it with so much love and compassion. That's right. One day she said to me, "Auntie, my dad is in so much pain, I wish I could take some." Crystal was Louis' lifeline. She loved and cared for him daily with a quiet strength and unwavering devotion. No matter how demanding life became, she made sure to be there at every doctor's visit, asking the right questions, listening closely, and ensuring he received the care he needed. She stayed on top of his medication, gently but firmly making sure that he took them always, looking out for his well-being. Beyond the physical care, Crystal provided something just as vital, emotional support. She stood by him in the difficult moments, offering comfort, reassurance, and a steady presence so he could rely on. Even while working and managing her own responsibilities, she found a way to balance it all, never letting Louis feel alone. And I want to take this opportunity to say on behalf of our family that we want to say, Crystal and your family, we thank you and we appreciate you. Louis may not have been that perfect son. Louis may not have been that perfect father. Louis may not have been that perfect friend. Louis may not have been that perfect mother. Father. Louis may not have been the person that, you expect him to be. But God looked beyond his imperfections. Amen. And saw it fit to save him from sin by his grace. Wow, what a grace. Amen. Louis was diagnosed with colon cancer for more than 4 years. Though he fought the cancer, it brought severe pain, and over time, it began to spread. On top of that pain, Louis broke 2 pelvic bones, which caused him to be admitted in the hospital. After surgery and a few days being in the hospital, Louis was transferred to a rehabilitation unit. There he spent his last days. The time was a spiritual rehabilitation, and so God afforded Louis enough time to make it right with him. And thank God he did. Louis surrendered his life to Christ and was baptized. Today, you and I may not get that chance like Louis. Today, we don't know. Our life can be just cut off. And I would have said it last night at our gathering. So let us make it right now so that one day we will see Louis. And we need to just reflect on those things. On March 23, 2026, maybe at about 4 p.m., Mommy was there. I think Mommy Beans and Lizzie left shortly before. And Mommy Beans, Louis' other mother, she's here. Louis took his last breath, leaving Mom, Dad, siblings, cousins, aunts, and uncles, other relatives, and his 8 gems. May his soul rest in peace. And if we want to enjoy that laughter and fun again, may we be ready to see. Amen.